Guys, it's Kiss and welcome back to my channel where we talk about anything and everything horror, the good, the bad, and the gory. Today we're reviewing a game called Father's Day. I'm going to give you a spoiler warning now so we can just jump right in. Father's Day is a first-person horror game by Amica Games who brought us other similar games such as Summer of '58 and Locked Up. We play as Phil, a man who lost his wife and child and who is trying his best to fix his mistakes, a common sentence used by Phil and in notes around the game. This game is also a sequel to the game Find Yourself. While this can be played as a standalone, to get the full story, I cannot stress enough to check out the other game first. I do have playthroughs and the review of the game linked in the description below so you guys can get caught up. We're going to be rating this game in 3 categories: jump scare, score, and the story. Normally we would also do voice acting, however there actually isn't much voice acting at all in this, unless you count the clown's voice, which is creepy, so 10 out of 10, but moving on.
Whoa, hey kids.
Starting with gore, there wasn't much, only really 1 or 2 notably gory things, which was the dead baby rats everywhere and the bloody hand in the hallway. But this is more of a psychological horror game, not much blood and guts, so gore is going to get a 2 out of 10 just for the lack thereof. On to jump scares, this game starts off strong right off the bat, leaves you on your toes looking over your shoulder at every moment. There were a couple times I expected what was coming, but there were also a couple times where I was like walking through a doorway from running from one thing and boom, peed myself. I actually like this game in terms of jump scares more than the predecessor. Thought they were way more well done and unexpected. Jump scares get a 9 out of 10. And now the story. What a wild ride. And this is the main reason why, yes, it can be played as a standalone. However, you get a much better understanding and what in the holy mother of God wow factor when you played Find Yourself first. So we start the game as Phil, widower who lost his wife and child in a car accident and is doing whatever he can to fix what he did. Again, this is a common theme, like I said before, he is trying to fix his mistakes. We do find out at one point that he was driving the car that killed his family as well. But Phil has a bit of a dark secret that we discover as we play. We do briefly play as a police officer, Henry, who is investigating an abandoned home near the amusement park, and he goes silent after discovering a hidden basement on the property. Another police officer, Jonathan, takes over the investigation. Now, Jonathan happens to be the brother of one of Phil's neighbors, Emma, whose son JJ has gone missing. Say that 10 times fast.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
He even sends a letter to Emma warning her from Phil because he felt something was wrong with him. But Phil takes it and replaces the letter, which Jonathan finds out later when exploring Phil's abandoned house. Turns out that what we've been seeing in the game isn't real. The characters aren't physically experiencing these things. They are in a program called Golden Egg. Golden Egg allows people to go into someone's mind. So Jonathan's job is to go into Phil's mind and try to find where he buried the 2 bodies of the other missing children, which took place 20 years prior. Phil is also in the program as they are trying to see from his perspective or to get him to admit to where they were. We learned that Phil from a young age was quite disturbed, having multiple personality disorder, and the dominant of his personalities was a killer who dressed up as a clown. As a child, he would kill small animals, and it seems like it ran in the family because both parents were put away for schizophrenia when he was younger. In the family home, we learned that Phil's parents escaped the asylum and returned to their home to find a couple and a baby living there. The baby reminded them so much of their own, they wanted to start over, so they killed the parents and raised the baby as their own. This baby is Peter, the main character from Finding Yourself. So knowing how depressed he was, his clown personality decided to find him a new family. This is when he decides to get dressed up as a clown and go to the circus, and that's when he sees his dad with Peter. And he sees how Peter has been mistreated, and he decides to take him. He feeds them, he kidnaps other kids so that he can have friends, gives them toys, but of course Peter is still unhappy. Clearly, I mean, he was kidnapped by a total nutcase. Peter is found by Jonathan and others that help them in the search, but there are 2 other kids that Peter mentions that are never found. Thus our journey into Phil's mind. Eventually, Phil does confess and leads police to where the children's bodies are found, finally bringing closure to the case after 20 years. This story, especially after playing the tragic events of Find Yourself, were amazing and a neat way to kind of tie things in together a bit. I thoroughly enjoyed it. One loose end is that Henry, one of the cops who was in the program, strayed too far and was lost. Later at the end of the game, we find ourselves in the subway car from Finding Yourself, and Henry is there crying. So not sure if he's like in the astral plane, which is where you spend a lot of your time in the first game, or he's like in hell and trapped within Phil's mind, or I'm just really grasping here. I also found the premise of the time machine was a little bit weird, so I'm glad it was explained that it was really all in Phil's mind while he was actually in the Golden Egg trying to fix his mistakes. But other than that, I really enjoyed it, so story gets a 9 out of 10. I've always liked horror games like this personally, where like we aren't really in danger, but it's scary and we are uncovering events of the past or like the character's trauma. Miki Games has proven time and time again how amazing they are at telling these tragic stories like this in all of their games, at least the ones I've played. Overall, loved it. We are giving Father's Day a 4 out of 5 kisses. We're going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And if you really like horror games like I do, give this one a go. I think you'll really enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest horror movie and game reviews, and I will catch you guys in the next video.